Being in the IOP program has put me, I have found out that I have hyperthyroid and Graves' disease, which I wasn't aware of until I had gone into the IOP program. I mentally and physically, everything about me has gotten so much better. This past year to year and a half.
It's calling 2021 CR 2127, State of Texas versus Hannah Marie Smith. I have parties announced for the record for the state.
Brian Brewer for the state of Texas.
For the defense.
Monica Guerrero for Ms. Smith.
All right, defense has filed a motion asking that the defendant's bond be reinstated. State, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge.
Just so we're clear, some things happened. I think I remember this. Ms. Smith was not supposed to be driving. Ms. Smith, I believe, was behaving inappropriately and was asked to come to court. The court had no idea that Ms. Smith had been driving for who knows how long. And Ms. Smith drove to court, but she was in a vehicle on Zoom, and then she drove to court. So that's where we are. So Ms. Herrera.
And on that day that she came to court, apparently her retained attorney withdrew. And then I was appointed to represent her.
Yes.
So I haven't had this case very long. However, the court remanded her without bond on that day, and she's been in custody since. Her family is extremely supportive. They sold her vehicle so she wouldn't have a car anymore. Her employers contacted me. Her boyfriends contacted me. Civic leaders have contacted me. Her mother has contacted me. They all want her to get back out so that she can go back to work and show the court what she's done. She's been in 12-step programs. She has not had any positive UAs. She tells me that, you know, she's been doing everything that the court has asked her to do, and that she was unaware that Ms. Corley had filed an affidavit of non-driving. She had been blowing into an in-home device, and she would like very much to be placed with a bond so that her family can make her bond. That if she has a vehicle, that she will put ignition interlock in there. But as of right now, her mother has told me they have sold the vehicle and they no longer have anything for her to drive. Her bond was set at $50,000 in inception.
Well, even though Ms. Corley did an affidavit of non-driving, people in this court who are on DWI, I always let them know and have them present when someone is doing an affidavit of non-driving, because I tell everyone that they need ignition interlock, and they say, oh, they're not driving. And I say, well, they need to provide an affidavit of non-driving. My concern is she filed an affidavit of non-driving. Obviously, her signature is on it because it's an affidavit of non-driving, and yet she drove to court and she didn't have ignition interlock.
Judge, if I may, obviously, Judge, I was going to bring up my recollection of that day was the same as yours. I did want you to take judicial notice because I know you were on the Zoom that day. You know, if there is an affidavit of non-driving on file, I mean, I presume that she signed it and that, you know, she was aware that she wasn't supposed to be driving. Regarding the indictment in this case, it's a very serious charge, among the most serious charges you can get involving a vehicle. And that's why we believe it's important, Judge, to not take it lightly, the fact that she said she wasn't driving and then she was for sure driving that day that we see her on Zoom driving. We can presume that she was driving on other days if she thought she was just free to drive. The state would ask for her bond, if you grant her a bond, for it to be doubled to $100,000 along with full GPS house arrest.
I'm still trying to figure out why should I grant her a bond when and mind you, Ms. Smith, I don't take any of the facts of these cases true because I haven't heard any facts. But what I have is you're charged with intoxication manslaughter. You did an affidavit saying that you would not be driving, and yet you were driving, which means you were driving without ignition interlock, and you're charged with intoxication manslaughter. The number one rule when you have Any intoxication offense, if you're doing an affidavit of non-driving, you don't drive. If you're driving, you have to have you have to have ignition interlock. So I'm not gonna reinstate the bond. You're remanded without bond.
I'm sorry, I forgot that I had signed the paper and wasn't driving for that long. I'm really, really sorry. I have been doing so good and I want to continue to do good.
But you were driving without ignition interlock. But if you want to give testimony, I will swear you in. You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Hannah Marie Smith.
All right, Ms. Guerrero, do you want to do question and answer, or you just want her to state?
I just want her to talk.
All right.
I did not, I was not aware. I do remember signing the paper, but I was not aware that I was not supposed to be driving at all. I did tell Miss Linda Corley, I called and I had spoke to Roland. And I had told Roland, he didn't tell me anything about getting the interlock or calling pre-trial. There's something about I was supposed to have called pre-trial. I was never told any of that. I would have done it. I have done everything that I have been told to do. I would have done it. I'm in precision recovery. I went to an inpatient program. I have a sponsor. I worked a 12-step program. I go to AA meetings. I go to see Rick Green regularly Tuesday and Thursday night. I fully participate. I'm on back on my mental health medication. Being in the IOP program.
This is where emotion collides with reality. She's apologizing, showing effort, even claiming personal growth, but in court, actions always outweigh words. And with a charge this serious, the judge is focused on one thing: public safety. So what matters more, here her progress or her mistake?
Program has put me, I have found out that I have hyperthyroid and Graves' disease, which I wasn't aware of until I had gone into the IOP program. I mentally, physically, everything about me has gotten so much better. This past year to year and a half, I'm really sorry. I know the car is gone. You can take my license. You can revoke my license. You can do whatever. I'm not going to drive anymore. I take the bus. I'm trying. I tried really hard for a whole year. I'm sorry.
State, any questions?
Nothing specific, Judge. I would just like the court to be aware, or just obviously, Judge, I mean, I think it's concerning that she's signing things, and the biggest concern we have whenever someone commits a crime with their vehicle is they're going to do it again, and she's not even aware of conditions that are part of her probation, or I'm sorry, part of her pretrial.
All right, and the court notes that there is a previous pretrial violation, Ms. Guerrero, for hijack reading, but at that time, the court did not issue a judge's warrant or remand her without bond. But you knew you were not supposed to be driving, and yet you did it anyway. And you drove without ignition interlock. And again, we go back to the fact, I don't take it as true, but you're charged with intoxication manslaughter. So the motion to reinstate the bond is denied.
Will the court consider any bond?
Not at this time. If you want to speak with the state and see if the state would be in agreement for a bond, but at this time, no. Ms. Ferguson, this is, the setting date on this is May 16th. Ms.
Correct,
Guerrero.
it's next week.
Okay.